Welcome back. We're doing the 101 series, 101 mistakes potentially that people could make in auction. I'm the author of Auction Demystified, and having the experience in working with a lot of people buying auction and understanding the full ecosystem end to end process, we've seen so much. And any of these mistakes could cost you either delay or cost you the deal or cost you to lose your deposit if you've already made a bid. So this category will be talking about the communication mistakes. This is very, it looks very simple, but it's one of the major factors of why things get into issues. So number 26 of the 101 issues or errors is slow responses to lender queries. As part of this process, there will be a lot of conversation, a lot of engagement, and most times lenders want an input too, especially when it's bridging cases. So if you are borrowing money from short term or even mortgage, you have to be prepared to be ready to answer questions quickly. So we have multi ways we make that happen, either a phone call, either text, but you need to give this a priority. This is what it means. So every delay on it's just prolong the process and you don't have that liberty of time. So every hour counts in auction timelines and not just in auction when you're doing any type of finance. Number 27, misaligned communication between parties. Because you have multiple parties, you have the mortgage broker, you have the solicitors, you have the surveyors, you have the auction house, you have so many parties, solicitors from both ends and stuff. You just realize that there could be a lot that could go wrong. And that's one of the reasons we have Auction 360. We want to make sure that we can streamline and align everybody to know what we are doing and make sure that everybody is working towards the target to complete within the specified time. So that's very important. Make sure that if you're managing this yourself, you want to make sure that everybody is aligned, that you're speaking the same language, the same information to the broker, to the solicitor, to the lender, and everybody else. So number 28 is giving inconsistent information. That happens quite often where sometimes you, as a borrower, you say something to the solicitor. Maybe you say your deposit is coming from personal funds, but again, you might say it's coming from gifted deposit and stuff. Just know clearly what it is and just not give inconsistent information. And that really just creates unnecessary contradictions and the other writers will pick those things up and it will become an issue. When you're putting a case in, you want to make sure that you have, as a broker, that you have the trust in what you're putting in, because that trust is what you are pushing over to the underwriters. So be mindful of that. Number 29, as part of this 101 mistakes, is changing deal structure mid process. Sometimes you buy a property, you feel I'm going to do a normal property there. You've got a bridging in that respect, and somehow you feel maybe I'm going to do an HMO. Then it's a completely different strategy. Or sometimes you feel like, this property I can actually put in maybe a new ensuite or a new kitchenette or something. It just depends, but that's not part of the original plan. So most lenders will not like that because might mean that the risk is extended, and also because you might need building regulation and all of those things, which might delay the process. So that's something to be mindful of. Number 30 of category 4 is not informing lenders of the auction deadline. That is one very important date that you want to share with everybody. If it's 28 days, let them know it's 20 days you're targeting, and you want to leave at least 3 days for things to mop up or just to give you some breathing space if anything goes wrong. So never set your deadline exactly the date that you expect. Give yourself maybe 2 days or 3 days to have anything that might be clarified to that. So that date is what you want to communicate to everybody so that everybody is working towards that deadline. So I hope you are getting something. If you've made any of this mistake in the past, not a problem. You just need to understand these are possible mistakes. And sometimes it's oversight. Sometimes it's just there's a lot of things to do. So don't beat yourself on it. Just make sure that as we are sharing this, you are printing it out as a checklist for you to use. If you can go through this 101 questions for your project, then you'll be in a very good place. But if you have any question, if you want to know more about Auction Demystified is a book on Amazon. You can get yourself a copy. And if you have any question, you want to book a clarity call, check our website, auction360.co.uk, and we'll be willing to have a conversation with you. We'll be able to support you and direct you in the right place to do your project. So be very careful when you're buying in auction, because it is much more tight deadline and there's a lot of pressure that needs to happen within that space. So, but it's doable if you know what you're doing and you have the right system in place. So, all the best as you bid. Either you're bidding this week, you're bidding next week, or whenever in the future. Just make sure that you're giving yourself the best opportunity to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. So, thank you. We'll see you on the next series of the 101 errors people make. Thank you.